Serkan.
Mr. Rabie, nice to have you in our show. Hi, Jerry again.
Hello.
I would like to ask you about these bigots in the religion. You know, they are the additions to the religion. Yeah, they are not real from the source of the religion. And then these are the fake interpretations. They are like false interpretations, let's say. And there are let's say, religious people that they are holding these bigots. And then these people, they seem to be as an example as a religious people, but actually they are not. They are fundamentalists. They are extremists, they are radicals. So that's why, we have to go to the source of the, religion. And then what do you think, how we can, eliminate all over the world, also in the Middle East, radicalism and extremism?
I can assure you that this is something needs to be to work on education, one thing. Second thing is we have to be vocal. The problem is that more than 80–90% of the people in the Middle East from the Muslim side are the moderates. They are the people like anybody else. Mm-hmm. You have, let me say, assume there is 10% are the bad apples who are using the faith for political agenda, and to be radicals and do what they want to do, not what the Quran is saying that. Mm-hmm. In order to do that, we need to be vocal. The 90% of the people has to be vocal and say wrong is wrong and right is right. Mm-hmm. And this is sometimes we don't hear it. We keep quiet about it, and we don't want just to wait for the religious leaders to make that point. Other leaders could make that point that we don't agree with that and condemn any kind of violence or any kind of separation between people and faith. And sometimes in our language, when we use that language, we don't mean it. As in this interview, you are conducting this interview in English, and I heard the word Allah 2–3 times, and I'm using God, even I know what is Allah. Allah same as God, but when you say Allah, here in the West, I think Allah is different than God. And this is to contribute to the problem, and this is one of the things they are facing. I am Christian, and when I pray in Arabic, I say Allah. When I pray in English, I say God. That we have to look at these things. Sometimes we don't mean it, but contribute to the problem, especially when you are living in the West. And I think here is, yes, we need to be vocal, we need to have education, and we have to say the truth and to work for justice and peace, and for people, to coexist. Thank you.
Jerry?
Yeah, that is something that really I haven't heard a lot of people talk of, but I have here the last a little bit, because there are people, especially here in the West, where if you mention Allah, they think you're talking about a different God. And I have, with a lot of people, went into depth to explain what the term one God means and the different interpretations of language around the world. Because even though there are, Yahweh and Allah and God, and there are a lot of different languages that say the same thing. But I know here in America, I've come to do the same thing, Sir Rabie. When I talk to people in American here in English, I am using the word God a lot more, because when I say Allah, it really throws them off. And even though I can explain to them that it means the same thing, there are a lot of people here, due to misconceptions, which have there's a lot of different avenues from that misconception. We have media, different ideologies, different faiths. You have a lot of people that speak out, and these are bigots, in my opinion, that are Christian or Jewish or Islamist or whatever, Muslim, but whenever they talk against a different religion, then they call them pigs. Or they say, that these people are preaching this, they're wrong, they've got to be killed. And I've heard this lately in several places. That is bigotry, and it's also hypocrisy, because I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm a devout Christian, or I'm a devout Muslim, but these people are wrong and they've got to be wiped out. Okay, that is neither Christian nor Muslim. That is bigotry. That is not faith. Anybody that perpetuates violence or hate towards another person, that is not by the way of Allah, by the way of God. That is romanticism and sentimentalism. And I think those are a couple of subjects that really need to be taught and educated to the people of different faiths too, as to what the exact meaning of those two words are. Because romanticism and sentimentalism, when instilled into any faith, you get into tradition and to leftist thinking that, as you know, the Quran says, we found our fathers doing, and we're doing what our fathers were doing, even though they didn't know any better. Even if it still sends us to hell, we're still going to do it. And this is true in a lot of places around the world. And I don't think a lot of people even realize it when they do it, because they're so conditioned to hearing this. I know I've never been to the Middle East. Inshallah, I will get there eventually. But I know here in the U.S. and in the Western states, we have a lot of problem with this, because we have people that are, and I know a lot of people that are really good people. They're good Catholics, they're Christians, they're Protestants and Jews. But still, some of these people that I know, when you talk about, and it doesn't matter, it's a non-discriminatory hate that they have across the religions. That they'll say, oh, well, those people are wrong. Anybody that lives in Israel's got to be evil. Or anybody that lives in Syria has got to be evil, or anybody that lives in some of these countries in Iran has got to be evil. And what they do, they project what's bad in these countries or in some of the people around, in the bigots, and they project it onto others. So I completely agree with you that education is the key to 90%, 95% of the problems we have.
I totally agree.